Hello and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to go through a tactic which I use in FM21 quite well. It's been my base tactic so far. It's been my preferred tactic, and it's allowed me to take Warrenpoint Town sort of gradually up the league. I didn't shoot straight away up. I'm still third. I haven't actually won the league yet, and there's actually a good reason for that. But it's a tactic which allows me to sort of gradually climb up the league, and it's very useful in the cup competition actually. So we're going to head in here now just to show you the tactic and see how we get on. I'm starting this screen for a reason. It's just sort of, I'm showing you the difference that we're dealing with in the Irish League. It just, Lauren have a sugar daddy. In reality, the fella owns the Purple Bricks website, owns Lauren Football Club, so that's where this big salary comes from. So they shoot up the league. This is 6-7 years in the future. And if you actually look at the Irish League after a period of time in your game, this probably happens anyway. But the other two teams worth watching are Crusaders, who are traditionally a fairly big team. So they are. And they're sort of generally near the top fairly recently. And Linfield, who are historically the biggest team in Northern Ireland. I think they're actually one of the most successful teams in the world, based on pure trophy count. So they're up there, 640,000 per annum. Linfield is also the team that has the Windsor Park, or the National Stadium, whatever you want to call it, as their home ground. So they have that as well. And did you see down here, we Warrenpoint Town of 219,000. So we've about a third of what Linfield have, under a quarter what Crusaders have, and fuck knows what compared to Lauren. But basically, this tactic has allowed us to compete. So we're coming in the top four regularly again, them three teams with this tiny wage budget. I never actually noticed Glentoran were that big as well. They're just shite at spending money. And if you're wondering how this performs goal-wise, I'm going to show you a secret here that I don't think I've shown for the past while. If you look at the top goal scorer, has Ryan Swan in second with 24 goals. Missed that season. Ryan Swan in first with 31. Ryan Swan in first with 20 goals. Ryan Swan in first with 25. And Ryan Swan in first with 26. Yep, they've had the top goal scorer for the past 4 seasons. That sort of, he crops up later on. He's now become a part player. He's had a severe injury. That's why he's now only 2-star rated. But still seems to be good enough to sort of score semi-regularly. So he does. So just leave that for now. And the other thing about this tactic is it's a very good cup tactic. If we come into the competitions page, we'll have the, as you see there, Danske Bank Premiership, third, 2025, and third again. I've actually just played the last match of the league, so that'll update a little bit. 2 third places. The Sadler's Peaky Blinder Irish Cup. Yep, that's the name of it. Winner in 2022, winner in 2023, runner-up in 2026, and again, we're in the final of it this season, so that'll be another one, at least a runner-up. The Bat McLean Cup, winner in 2027, runner-up in 2023. The Ulster Cup, winner in 2022, 2023, 2025, 2026, 2027. So this tactic's basically brilliant in cup competitions. It's, as I say, it's a counter-attacking tactic. That's the whole point of it. But I'm going to take you in to show you it now, so I am. So I'm just going to walk you through the tactic I've been using for quite a while now with this up the point series. As you see here, it's 2027 and we're still working with it. It's pretty simple to set up, really. It's if we open this here up, it's pretty much, to be honest with you, the bog standard for the counter attack. There's not really much done to it. The only things I've done is play for set pieces I've put on. I've decent in the air defenders and midfielders and all that, so played for that. And as well as that, the only other things I've hit is when out of possession of get stuck in is put on by default. So I've took it off, and I'm not sure where the defensive line lays, but I'm forcing the opponents out wide just to sort of force them down the wings rather than coming through the middle of the whole lot. It is a part-time team, so we can't really do much running. So that's it. In terms of team tactic, that's it. When possession's been lost, counter press, counter when you win possession, and have the goalkeeper distribute quickly. Left this, I leave these distribute areas. This changes game by game. If they're late in the middle of the play, hit the playmaker. if they're sort of, maybe they're playing a three at the back system, where through weak down the wings, put it in there. Maybe their defense isn't that good, just distribute over opposition defense if they're a bit slow, and if they're just a bit short and not strong, hit the target man. But that's it. So team tactic isn't that much. I'll walk you through the individual sort of positions here now. You might notice on the wings, they're both mirrored on the wings either side, just sort of keep a bit of symmetry there. Like, you can modify these if you want, but it's default winger he thinks good enough for it. So goalkeeper, a sweeper keeper on defend I've picked. Just sort of comes out if he needs to, but generally speaking, the defense will just sit quite deep, so he's not really need to do that. To be honest, if he played as an ordinary goalkeeper, he'll be fine. And the thing I've noticed is he gets a few assists just from long balls up the air. Don't even think it shows assists, but he has got, I think, 3 or 4. The centre backs are just ordinary centre backs really on defend. There's no point having cover if they're just going to sit quite deep anyway. They just sit and defend. Or if I put one in cover, he'll essentially be coming back and blocking off the sweeper keeper. So if you've the goalkeeper set as just an ordinary goalkeeper, it's maybe worthwhile having one as a cover. But they're alright way alone. Fullbacks are set the automatic just to let them get up and down the line. This was originally set as defend, just to keep things solid, but both fullbacks are sort of make decent enough decisions to get up and down the line when they want. And that's it, so it is. In midfield, we start with the wings, as I say, of them on default, winger support. The idea there is essentially to beat down the line and whip a ball into the forwards. And that's it, it doesn't really change that much, it's pretty simple. But at the same point, they do sort of drift into about the edge of the box there, maybe into this score, and drift into that one, when a cross comes in from the other side. So they're handy enough. I think Walters has about 8 goals and Simpson has 6, so they're not too bad with that. They chip in when they need to. I think the key point of this whole tactic is the midfield. In centre midfield, they always have one defend and one support. It sort of varies depending on who you have. This one is mainly dictated by Kelly. You look here, Kelly, 14 first touch, 18 passing, 16 decisions. He's gets about fairly well for a playmaker. He picks passes and hits them accurately. But look at him defensively: 5 marking, 5 tackling, 5 positioning. He's crap. If we're going to have him playing as a deep line playmaker on defend, he needs that positioning and tackling, which he clearly doesn't have. So he's on support to dictate that there. Basically, he sort of roams up to about here-ish. He doesn't go mad, sort of busting into the box or trying to dictate the play by dribbling. The thing I've noticed is the difference between deep line playmaker and advanced playmaker. An advanced playmaker will try and dribble with the ball to an extent as well, whereas a deep line playmaker just gets it and passes it over to somebody else. He doesn't really dribble that much with it. That's the key difference in them. And just next to him, I've centre midfielder defend. Centre midfielder is really an underrated thing, I think. You should modify it to whatever you want. If I used to pick personally, so I don't really see it. He's pretty standard there, but again, if you were to pick support or automatic, you can get into whatever you want, really. You can modify a centre midfielder to whatever you need him to be. I just need him to sit there, really, and defend. So don't want him getting forward. Don't want him going into the channels and just hold his position. So the default centre midfield defense fine for that. There's no real need to do anything. I don't want him marking anybody, because I just want him to sit there. And if I have him tackling hard, I'd probably more likely get sort of yellow and red cards. And Lillis, while not overly great for this, for instance, his marking shite, but his positioning's good. Tackling's fine for the level. It's 10. It's not fantastic, but it's not terrible. He has 16 decisions, 17 concentration, 13 positioning, 12 work rate, and 15 stamina. So he can sit there alright. Sort of fine. The marking is the sort of a meh attribute, if all the rest of it works. positioning, concentration sort of negates this quite well. So it does, although he is actually improving. So that has actually went up, which I didn't know. And we now get to the final bit, and this is where I reveal of actually 2 tactics, and this is the only bit where it changes. So if I'm playing a big team, I'll switch to this. So the shadow striker just sort of sits in there and just sort of, he gets forward if he needs to, plays off the pressing forward. But if things are getting a bit tight, he'll drop into the midfield and sort of help out a bit, so he will. Because I think shadow striker is more willing to get stuck in than most of the oppositions, defensively. Sort of tackle and win the ball if he needs to, so that's the difference. But most of the time he's 4-4-2, so the pressing forward, which was in the last one, is just a very good tactic, I think. It's by default as the centre forward, so it is the pressing forward. On attack, gets further forward, drifts into the channels and sort of just attacks defenders if they've got the ball, which is quite useful and helps press out. I think Jimmy Vardy, whenever you really think of pressing forward on attack, that's probably the best way to describe it. He just sort of drifts about a bit and wins the ball. Isn't afraid to tackle a centre back or a full back who gets near, or even a defensive midfielder in here. And that's why that's my default as a centre forward. If I was playing a one up front, pressing forward is what I would start on. Maybe if they're big enough, complete forward, but that's it. The other role is a deep line forward, which I think people don't like for some reason. I personally love it. He just sort of drifts off and sort of comes in here. He's kind of like a target man, is a simple way to look at it. He's a target man, but isn't as tall. So if I sort of highlight this here, deep line forward, needs to be able to anticipate the ball, first touch, finishing, composure. Needs to be able to drop off and sort of win the ball in around here, and just sort of act as like a sort of a link point. In reality, he wins the ball quite a lot, gets it through to him, and then the pressing forward is the man hits the shot away. I've had this role for years in this tactic, and the key thing about this is that the guy next to him normally scores a lot. First hasn't done it this season, but that's because Ryan Swan, who was the fella normally occupies as the pressing forward, has been playing as well and has been chipping in too. So it's 28 goals next to the deep line forward, and the deep line forward is 18 himself, so it works out well. But the deep line forward just sort of drops in, gets the ball, sort of holds it up for everybody else to sort of get past them as such. And as well as that, sort of comes in fairly late into the box as well and sort of hits a shot away and gets the goal. So this is sort of my thinking overall in this. This 8 is just defensively solid, while at the same time hitting sort of quick on the counter attack. Kelly in particular in this tactic, it's him now, but it could really be anybody. In reality, I think in this particular sort of run, Kearney's played the past couple of matches there. So the deep line playmaker just sort of drifts up in here a bit, sort of picks passes, works quite well with the deep line forward. I actually think if he was an advanced playmaker, he was sort of him and the deep line forward will run into each other. So that sort of works out quite well. And it works there. I prefer a centre midfielder on the defend for he doesn't lunge into tackles like a ball winner would. Ball winner defend might work there. I don't really think there's much use in the two-man midfield. And if he's deep line playmaker and he's box to box, it wouldn't work the same. So it wouldn't. He wouldn't be tempted to sort of win the ball as much. He would still try and dictate play, which isn't what I'm looking at him to do. Of him just sat as purely a defensive player, he's not really expected to do much attacking ways. As shown by the 0 goals. I don't think he ever actually has scored for us. Here for 3 seasons now. But so with this tactics basically allowed me to do is sort of climb up the league. It's more of a gradual sort of climb. It's not shooting to the top straight away. So it's a good tactic sort of if you come into a league and you're sort of going, right, we could go down here again. It's a good one to build off it. So it is, again, a bigger team, you just sort of sit back and hit in the counter attack. But against smaller teams, it actually sort of dominates possession quite well. It works out there too. And they'll leave the video there. So thanks for watching. Goodbye, good luck, and I wish you well.